Good evening, folks. Today we're back in Kerbal Space Program, and I've done some research. And I got Kerbalism to work, so hopefully we can get some return on science. And these tanks on the side here have been slimmed down. As from where we left off, we have launched 3 rockets. None of them have actually made it anywhere, because they weren't stable enough, and I figured my thrust to weight ratio was not high enough. But either way, we now have a new rocket to launch. Let's go ahead and launch Bilbo 4 for the glory of the New Zealand space program in 3, 2, 1. That's not good. I think it's spinning a bit too much now. But at least we've gotten above 10 kilometers, so that's something. Yeah, maybe we should dial it back on the amount of tilt those fins have. I don't think that's how rockets are supposed to fly. I mean, it's still going up, so I'm not complaining. Oh, I think our engine just blew up. Yep, the aerobee on the bottom just killed itself, for lack of a better word. Looks like we're heading to 40 kilometers. That's pretty good. I got Kerbalism to work on a different file that I started. Ah, there we are. So hopefully... Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. Let's go ahead and speed this thing along. As it enters the thicker part of the atmosphere, it should be starting to slow down a little bit. Hopefully. And then maybe it can get stable enough so I can figure out what's going on with our science over here. There we go. So it's not supersonic, but it is getting telemetry, and it apparently has collected data, even though I'm not entirely sure it's being transmitted back. Which is a problem. Maybe we can collect... Nope. Yep, okay. Our rocket spins a bit too much. I think that's been established now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can range safety this. Alright. See if maybe now we might have gotten some science. If it all went according to plan. That doesn't look right. 20, 30, 40 kilometers. So we have funds, but we're still... How am I lacking the science? I might have to restart the save if this keeps breaking, because I made another test game for the to make sure that the science was working, and it appeared to be transmitting, but here it does not appear to be doing anything. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I've made a new save and recreated my rocket to see if our science can actually start working. That didn't pop up last time, which I imagine is part of the problem. So we got that running. Now let's launch the fixed alternate reality version of the Bilbo 4 for the glorious New Zealand space program, launching in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now we're getting some science. That's what we were missing last time. And this thing is going up pretty far. Unless, of course, the engine fails because we lost a bit of the progress on that. Might start spinning too fast again. But you win some, you lose some. Hopefully the spin will start slowing down once we get into the upper atmosphere. Oh, permanent shutdown. But we are going up to over 40 kilometers, which is high enough for me. That's farther than we've gotten with any of the other. There we go. Speed records, altitude records, lots of money. This thing's spinning out of control again. Oh boy. We can see part of the island of New Zealand off there to the, what's the direction? To the west. This thing is going to start falling down right about now. Look at all that data we're getting. Finally, the, what's it, Prime Minister? That's what these guys use, right? Finally, the Prime Minister will have something to look forward to. Let's go ahead and speed this up. And impact with the ground. Let's head back to the Space Center to collect whatever we have and actually finally get into the research in this game. So, like I said, it takes time to do the research, just like building the rockets and reconditioning launch pads, etc. Let's get that out of here. So, what I believe we want to try to shoot for first is, yeah, these engine upgrades and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and grab post-war rocketry, because of course this takes place right after World War II, at the beginning of the space race. But in this alternate reality, New Zealand is also a major player in the space race. Maybe next video I can actually do some research on New Zealand, since I'm apparently committed to this gimmick. But you know. Alright, let's head back. See about what kind of milestones we can get. Ooh. That one we probably should have got. Oh well. Sounding... Okay, yeah, we need to launch that again. I'll be right back. It's going to be the same exact thing. So, with that, hopefully Prime Minister Holland will be ecstatic with excitement about our latest success in reaching, I believe, over 80 kilometers. It's quite high. New Zealand Space Agency has finally started to yield results to beat the Americans and the Soviets. At this rate, we might even be able to get to the moon before the Russians. Haha, joke. Alright, let's go back to the Space Center. If you couldn't tell, I had time to research during the flight about who was the actual Prime Minister of New Zealand in 1951. And it's Prime Minister Holland. So now we know. We shall not let him down, for the fate of New Zealand rests in the hands of the space program. Or something like that. Alright, so we have tons of science now. Let's see if we can put that... I'm not sure, we might touch this a little bit later, but I don't think I'm going to be doing space planes at the moment. So... let's see about unlocking some of the other things. Aluminum fuselages, that's important. Early tracking systems. Not sure how important these are, but we have the science to spare. Alright, and then let's grab that. Okay, we've had some success. Look at all those. Carmen line. That's our next huge milestone, which should be possible soon with the advancements we're making. Sounding rocket contracts. This is what sort of lost me a bunch last time. 50 kilometers should be easy. We only have to launch to 50 kilometers with a sounding rocket. No payload or anything. So that should be easy. X-planes already discussed. Not gonna do those yet. Alright. So it looks like we're gonna have to knock out two birds with one stone, you could say. And let's see if we can reach 100 kilometers with our rocket. With the data we have, hopefully, yeah, the failure rate has gone down quite a lot, which means we might be able to get this thing somewhere. So, let's, let me see if I can just ever so slightly make this a little bit longer. Alright, okay. Recondition the launch pad. Post-war rocketry. Ah, that gets us an Aerobee upgrade, does it not? It does. Okay, so we're gonna have to roll the Bilbo 6 back into the VAB before we actually launch it so we can get that new engine on there. And then hopefully reach 100 kilometers. Alright, so I have managed to accidentally build another rocket, but that might not be a bad thing, all things considered. It's only going to take a day for us to upgrade that engine. And with any further luck, everything should go as planned and we will have our rocket complete. Gonna go ahead and roll that out. Warp to day. Something like day. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this thing off the ground. Alright. Getting our sign situated. And then this is Bilbo 6 for the glory of the New Zealand space program. 3, 2, 1. Rocket has fired. We have liftoff. Hopefully. Ooh. That's not great. It ran out of something. You know what I probably didn't... Yeah, I didn't change the fuel mixture. My bad. Well, we're gonna have to fix that. We're getting some science out of this, so might as well not scrap the rocket. Okay, so I think we are still mostly on schedule for the contract, sounding rocket contract. 98 days. Let's see if we can't edit this one, because that fuel mixture had changed and I did not realize. But after that, it should hopefully be able to reach 100 kilometers pretty easily. Granted, we don't have a failure, but we can't afford a failure at this point, so let's just hope for the best. Alright, so now that that is under construction, we're going to go ahead and buy ourselves some upgrades since we have some money. Don't need that much. So let's go ahead and put one more into the VAB and one into the R&D center, since we're starting to do some research. Alright, warping until the launch pad. And we're pushing the deadline a little close, so 10%. We're not going to make it anyway if this one fails, so let's hope Bilbo 7 is the one to do it. Gonna roll that out. And warp until day. And launch this. I'm not sure how much more science we could get out of the instruments we have on there right now, but we've got some research in the pipeline, so hopefully it won't be a problem. Alright, here on the launch pad with Bilbo 7, hopefully the mission that will break the Kármán line and achieve victory for the New Zealand space program. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, our Aero B just exploded itself, and the rocket's spinning out of control. That's a bummer, we're gonna miss that contract again. Or actually, we did break 55 kilometers, didn't we? Did we not? Or did we already complete that? I don't know. But anyway. That's a bummer. We got a little bit out of that. Oh no, we did get the contract. That's good. A little bit of funds. I can't see if I can actually click on this thing. There we go. Let's range safety that. This thing is spinning out of control. Okay, so we didn't actually lose anything. The Kármán line contract doesn't expire, and we got above 50 kilometers at the very least. So I think, well, the engine explosion was a little bit unavoidable, but we can settle down that spin a little bit at the very least. 60-kilometer altitude sounding rocket contract, that we can do. Human milestones, radar with the X-planes. So we're going to get to that at some point later. Let's go ahead and get back into the VAB so we can get another Bilbo rocket building. So Bilbo is our workhorse for the sounding rockets right now, which is getting us a decent amount of science and funds to keep the program alive. Now, Bilbo 8 needs a little bit less on the spinny front. Let's see if that does anything. We're gonna start doing extra pre-flight checks on this engine because we need it to work to get that Carmen line contract. The wings are slightly less slanted to give me control on that spin. And I think that's good for Bilbo 8. I'm glad I tooled these tanks because that reduces the cost for every new type of rocket you make using the same tanks. Yeah. Okay. So while I was building Bilbo 8, I apparently researched material science. So that gives us a decoupler, some of these weird radial tanks, and the big thing is the aluminum. Yeah, the aluminum tank, which is a lot lighter. Alright, and I think that is good. We're gonna need to get a little bit more science. Hopefully this next launch will get us some good stats based on our entry into space, which this should be hopefully the first rocket that can actually make it into space. Alright, here we are on the launch pad. Bilbo 8 is ready to go. The Prime Minister has really gotten on our backs about this, that we need to get these rockets out fast. So, without further ado, let's launch this thing. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I'm trying to mess with getting... I keep forgetting to activate these science modules before I actually launch. Ah, there we go. Temperature. Barometer. Ah, there we go. Okay. There we go. That's a nice apoapsis. 200 kilometers in the air. We can see we're already entering space. That is going to make Prime Minister Holland very happy. Look at all this stuff we've gotten. Hopefully, with this much progress, we can get on to the next stage after sounding rockets. But let's go ahead and fast forward this. Interestingly enough, this will be the first rocket also that New Zealand has launched to re-enter the atmosphere from space. So, I'm not entirely sure if this is going to survive, but nevertheless, we got tons of money and science from this, so it was a complete success for the space agency and the nation as a whole. It's a little interesting with the apparently lift that this thing is generating going sideways, but impact with the ground. And that is a complete success on the launch of Bilbo 8. See you guys next time.